Congressman Cohen's been very patient. Congressman Cohen by WebEx.
I heard your response and that you support the facilitation of airplanes from other former communist Soviet bloc nations to Ukraine. What is your response to the Defense Department or administration thought that those planes would be shot down easily and that they would not provide as much help as the anti-aircraft systems would that they're trying to secure through Turkey or other defense provisions?
Well, sir, it would be hard for me to start arguing with my old department, but I would just say that the Ukrainian Air Force has done a pretty good job with the MiGs that they have. And so I would expect they would do a pretty good job with any more MiGs they would get. I do actually agree, though, that it's important that we get that medium and high altitude capability to Ukraine, because it's the combination of the surface-to-air missiles and the MiGs that really makes this capable. And so I would just say that having led a few air campaigns and flown in a few air campaigns, having some more airplanes is pretty much normally going to be helpful.
Well, I agree with you. I just want to know what your thoughts were. Mr. President Zelensky addressed the Israeli Knesset, I believe yesterday, the day before, and he expressed his displeasure at the fact that Israel had not helped them with an Iron Dome system. I visited Israel. I recall the Iron Dome. Many of the missiles that they intercept are more rockets from Hamas and whatever. Is the Iron Dome capable of helping with the type of missiles that are being fired by the Russians in Ukraine?
That's not what it's optimized for, sir. It's optimized for, as you talk about, the smaller missiles and the mortars and things like that. And it is a magnificent capability for doing that. I would focus first on getting them the S-300s and possibly the S-400s, which give them the medium and high altitude capability. And with the S-400, a little bit of an ability to intercept some of the missiles that are coming in. As you know, Russia has now fired over 1,100 missiles into Ukraine. And so that's a problem.
My colleague, my ranking member, who's not on the call, Mr. Wilson, also always asks about and advocated early some type of weapon called a harpoon that's apparently effective with boats, ships. I think we don't call them boats; we call them ships. What do you know about the harpoon and the possible advantage to the Ukrainians and the facilitating of it from us?
So that missile falls into the category that I was just talking to the chairman about, the coastal defense cruise missile capability. And actually, sir, what I would advocate for coastal defense cruise missiles is to work with our NATO allies to provide both the Norwegians and the Polish militaries have really good coastal defense cruise missiles that they could get to Ukraine faster than we could get harpoons in there. And the harpoon is a very different system employed in a different way. They would be much quicker to bring aboard the NSAMs and the Polish kit if we were to work with those two nations to get those capabilities to them there. But sir, the point is the harpoons are a coastal defense cruise missile, and I do advocate for giving them the capability to defend their coasts.
The Russians have used hypersonic missiles. They are scary thought because I don't think we have an ability to stop them. And I suspect the Ukrainians don't either. Is that the main advantage of the hypersonic missile, that their inability to be detected and or deterred? And if that is the main inability, which I'm guessing it is, but we'll just kind of go on with that supposition, why do you think the Russians have only used them 2 or 3 times? And when they used them 2 or 3 times, is that just kind of they don't have a great inventory of those weapons, or are they just kind of want to show the West we've got these missiles and back off.
So, sir, I'm a bit of a contrarian on this subject. They have fired, I think, at least 2, and they used them to almost zero effect. They fired them just like any of the other 1,100 missiles that they have fired at targets, the very same targets. I think it was more sending a message to the West that we're upping the ante, we're going to start using some of these special weapons, etc. But the fact of the matter is the Ukrainians have zero capability to defeat any of the 1,100 that were shot at them, much less now the hypersonic. So it really was not of consequence to the Ukrainians. And yes, sir, you were right. We even have trouble with defending against some of these capabilities.
I guess those are my main questions. I don't want to take much more time. Let me ask you this. I believe you said in your testimony that some of our weapons have gotten there late and haven't been our logistics haven't been as quick or as effective. Is that the problem with our decision making, or is that the problem with our military and or our transit and getting them there?
So, sir, what I was referring to were the Stingers. The West got Stingers there almost immediately, but a lot of those Stingers were 2 generations old and supplied by some of our allies, and we are thankful for them doing that. I'm not complaining about that, but we were slower getting the more advanced versions that we use in the U.S. military to them. And I believe that was a matter of releasability of some portions of the kit.
There was some announcement I heard today of a possibility. This might have been a news person ruminating. It might have been a defense person speaking. The idea of us possibly contributing chemical masks or masks that would defeat chemical weapons. Do we have time to do that? By saying something in the media about that, does that just kind of give Russia the idea that they ought to start doing it?
Sir, I think that that's a tough question to talk about, because this is a big army and a big place, and I do not know. I've been out of the active military now for 6 years. I do not know the status of our supply, et cetera, et cetera. But to outfit an army with chemical gear, which is not issue 1 and wear it for 5 months. It's issue 1, wear it a little while, issue another, wear it a little while. And so stocks are a big problem. I am unqualified, sir, to talk to you about the depth of our supplies and our ability to provide those.
Thank you, General Breedlove. I go back to the balance of time.
Well, let me thank all 3 of our witnesses. This has been an extremely helpful hearing. This information will be very helpful to us, and will be shared with all of our commission members and with the members of the House and the Senate. And there being no further business, the hearing will stand adjourned with our thanks.